I'm giving this shit a try here. Go ahead and do this here. So check it out, right? All of you joining me live and all that. Thanks for that. So I really want to talk about electoral map right now. By the looks of it, you got to keep in mind right now, right, that you need 270 electoral points to win the presidential election, right? I mean, that's the way it goes. It's not like a popular vote thing, although it helps to be ahead in the popular vote because it kind of translates throughout the nation. But this is basically what we're looking at here right now. This is basically it. What we're looking at right now. Now, this is not exactly on point, and keep in mind, I disagree with Texas, but the fact that Texas is even being considered Trump or a battleground state is absolutely astonishing, right? Like, I would actually put Utah as a toss-up, not Texas, but nonetheless, point here, right? Meaning, as you look at the map right there, even if Trump won every single battleground state, he would still lose. Right? That's how one-sided it's looking at the moment, according to the overall polling, right? And make no mistake about it, the momentum is going towards Hillary, not Trump, as of right now. Big waves where Trump had an opportunity to make a big impact and start momentum towards this direction, nothing happened. The conventions, no bump. The debates, no bump. If anything, he came off worse after them than better. So here he is trying to make up all this ground. Right now, as it stands, right? Virginia, he's lost it. They're already ready to surrender Virginia. Virginia's a wrap. It's a wrap. It looks like the Democrats are going to three-peat Virginia, which was unheard of before. It's pretty solid. And if you look at some of the polling, it's unbelievable how bad Trump is losing Virginia when this has been a battleground state. And now Trump's getting his ass handed to him, right? Ohio. Trump will win Ohio. I think it's going to be close, but I think he's going to win Ohio, right? It's going to be tough for Hillary to win Ohio, but make no mistake about it. Trump has to campaign in Ohio. He needs to invest in Ohio. He's going to have to put money in Ohio. He's going to have to fight to win Ohio, right? Indiana, I think Trump and Pence are going to win Indiana, right? There's a reason he got Pence on the ticket. I think they're going to take Indiana. Again, it's not as close as Ohio, but I think they're going to win it. Now keep in mind, Ohio, 18 electoral points. Indiana, 11 electoral points. Iowa, 6 electoral points. Iowa's going to be, I don't know who's going to win Iowa. I just don't. It's such a small state, and it's so hard to gauge. But let's say we give it to Trump. The benefit of the doubt, give it to Trump. But Hillary could win it. Make no mistake. Carolina, another big state. It's a must-win for Trump. Trump has to win North Carolina. Romney won North Carolina. He still got his ass handed to him. Okay, you got to win North Carolina. He's got to. He's got to win North Carolina, period. But the way it's looking right now, I think Hillary's going to edge it out in North Carolina. I really do. I think she's going to edge it out. But let's say Trump pulls it off. Let's say he wins North Carolina. Let's look at South Carolina. I think Trump's ultimately going to win South Carolina. But I think they were within 4 points in one of the last polls I saw. It was within margin of error. He's going to have to put some time and effort and money into South Carolina, which was unheard of in previous elections. Right? If South Carolina becomes a battleground state, it's over. I mean, if it becomes a battleground state within the next week, right? He needs South Carolina. Georgia is a battleground state. He's ahead of Hillary just by 2 points. In when you average out the polls, that's well within the margin of error. That's unheard of. I mean, Obama, Gore, Kerry, they all had their ass handed to them in Georgia. Silver platter. Trump's in danger of losing Georgia. I think he's going to win it ultimately. But the fact that he's going to have to put time and effort and money into Georgia, defending something that should be a given, a foregone conclusion, is unbelievable. All right? I mean, that's crazy. Florida's going to be close, man. Florida's going to be very close. Must win for Trump again. Trump has to win Florida. There's no other way around it. He's got to win it. Without Florida, it's over. Even if he wins Ohio and Indiana, it's over. He needs Florida, right? There's no way around it. He needs Florida, right? Mississippi, he's going to win Mississippi. Not even worth talking about that one. Texas, this is big, right? If Trump loses Texas, moralizing to the Republican Party, right? Can't win Texas. Now, keep in mind, he lost Texas in the primaries. He got his ass handed to him by Ted Cruz. Now, you know, I don't believe it just because he lost to Ted Cruz, it means he lose to Hillary, but this is not, I mean, the things he said about the Bush family, right? The Bush family is very popular in Texas. George W. Bush was a very popular governor here. Right? I didn't like him, right? But Republicans here liked him, right? He's not being endorsed by the Bush family. George H.W. Bush, apparently they caught him on tape saying he's voting for Hillary. What's her name again? Deborah Bush and the wives of the Bushes, they're endorsing Hillary. That's not a good look, right? And I'm telling you right now that this Hispanic demographic is also grown. It's been growing steadily of registered voters here, you know, because they're coming of age. A lot of millennials now eligible to vote, and they're very liberal. So this is not a good look for Trump at all whatsoever, right? I think Trump's going to win Texas. I think ultimately he's going to win, and he might even win by like 9-10 points ultimately. But the fact that he needs to put time, effort, and money in a big state like that, tell him. You know, the fact that he may need to he might have to fly out to Texas and do some campaigning and put in some money and effort and, you know, get some there to get out the vote and all that in a state that, again, he should have locked in. It hasn't been a toss-up state since 1980, right? Or considered one. Okay, Texas has, not only was it a leaning for Republican, it's been a ruby ray. It's been a foregone conclusion, like understood. No different than like California right now. For like, this is equivalent to like a Democrat losing New York or California. Big. The fact that this is considered, I don't think it's a toss-up. I think it's leaning Trump, but it's close. The fact that it's even in the discussion is unbelievable. The fact that Alaska, it's only 3 electoral points, but again, Alaska is a toss-up on some polls and not a foregone conclusion for Trump. I mean, I don't even know what to say. New Mexico is not a toss-up state right now. And yes, New Mexico is only 5 electoral points. But again, the fact that it's not up for grabs, Hillary doesn't need to spend any money there or defend it, is unbelievable. The fact that Colorado, the 9 electoral points of Colorado are not up for grabs right now. Hillary has to spend very little money and resources, right, for Colorado. Colorado's not a toss-up. It's unbelievable right now, right? I already mentioned Virginia, but let me go back to the north really quick. Sure, 4 electoral points up there. The fact that New Hampshire is not up for grabs right now is unbelievable. Points, they're usually kind of competitive. It's so one-sided now. Pennsylvania is not a toss-up right now like it's been in previous elections. Is very telling. Trump is getting his ass handed to him. The fact that Michigan is not competitive is very telling. Wisconsin, it's leaning Democratic right now. Minnesota was supposed to be a toss-up state. Not anymore, folks. It looks like Hillary's going to handily win Minnesota. That there's no state that Hillary should have locked in as she's in danger of losing. None. So she has to, that's less money she has to spend there, less resources she has to invest in there. Trump's people aren't bothering doing any resources there because they're not going to win it, right? So that's more money for Hillary, who has more money to begin with, to spend on the remaining states where she has a shot to win, okay? And put Trump on the defensive on states that he should be winning while they're also campaigning on the battleground states. Look at Arizona. Hillary Clinton is leading in most polls in Arizona. 11 electoral points. Trump doesn't have that locked in. Romney beat Obama by what? Double digits? Just handed his ass in Arizona, right? McCain just thrashed Obama in Arizona. Destroyed Kerry and Gore in Arizona. Just utterly destroyed them. The fact that Trump doesn't have that locked in, absolutely unbelievable, right? 6 electoral points in Nevada. That's a toss-up right now, according to this map of some polling I've seen. It's leaning Democratic. It looks like Hillary's going to win that state. It looks like she's going to win Nevada. That's unbelievable. Okay. Utah, according to this map, is leaning Trump. But according to some recent polling, McMullen is within either margin of error, and so is Hillary, by the way. Recent polls, he's actually beating Trump. The fact that, and McMullen is a more from you, that's campaigning UT. He's only like in the ballot, like in 6 states, by the way, or 11 states, something like that. But in Utah, he's really being pushed by like Romney and those Never Trump people. The fact that those 6 electoral points are not a given for Trump, I mean, it's just making it harder for him to reach 270. McMullen may very well come out on top, and not only that. So again, is not on the defensive on any blue states. Doesn't have to spend virtually any money on these states, right? And has almost double the amount that Trump has in money and resources at that. Okay, and notable surrogates, which I'll talk about in a moment. They're doubling down their campaign staff in Utah because they have a shot. It's a 3-way race in Utah right now, right? And they're going to force Trump's campaign, along with McMullen too, to spend time and resources there. And the fact that they need to fight for Utah, which hasn't voted Democratic since what, like Johnson? I mean, that's insane. The fact that he doesn't have this locked in already is absolutely insane. This is crazy, right? And as I'm looking at it right here, Hawaii is locked in for the Democrats, so they don't need to worry about that. Look at Alaska, man. The fact that they're going to have to put something in Alaska is, and for those that think that, oh, well, I look at the states where Trump got his ass handed to him in the Republican primary. Trump got his ass handed to him in Utah. He wasn't even second place. Okay, I think he got like, I forgot what it was, but I know Cruz won, Kasich was second, Trump was third. And there were only 3 candidates left at the time. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if Rubio was in the race yet or not. Or I think he had already dropped out. It's not popular there, right? So you got to keep that in mind. Like Iowa, Trump lost Iowa. He got his ass handed to him by Ted Cruz. Trump is not popular in these states, even with Republicans. Texas, he got his ass handed to him by Cruz. So that's why it's up for grabs. And some of them he did win handily, but look, I mean, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. Remember, Trump lost Ohio. He got his ass handed to him by Kasich, and Kasich did not endorse him, or he dropped his endorsement of his, right? Indiana should be a lock. Governor of Indiana on the ticket. Lock. And that should be done. It should be a foregone conclusion, Indiana. So if we look at the total, so let's go down a little bit here. We got 15 more days, right, first of all, for the elections. Okay, 16. Just the fact, right, that this is not a foregone conclusion. I don't, some of these states that is, right? I just don't know what to say. I mean, the only states that Trump has locked in are states like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Indiana, South. Look at that. It's 4 electoral, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6. Like there's small states. Kentucky, like very heavily, right? Missouri should be a lock. Missouri should be a foregone conclusion. And he's still going to win it, but the fact that it's not ruby red. Arkansas is that was a surprising one to me. All right. I understand it's been a long time since he was the first lady of Arkansas and Bill Clinton was governor. It's been a long time. But recent as Gore and Kerry, they were still campaigning there. They were competitive in Arkansas. I honestly felt Arkansas was going to be up for grabs. I was wrong about that. But then again, it's only 6 electoral points anyway. Louisiana, it's ruby red, not surprising. Louisiana, I mean, when a guy like David Duke is running for the Senate there, that tells you a lot, right? This is insane. This is crazy. So, as you can see, this is almost, it'll be the upset of the century if Trump pulls it off. Look at this map now. Just for a moment, okay? Ohio, Indiana, they got a campaign there, right? North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, right? I imagine they might give New Hampshire a shot here and there. I believe that I don't even think they're going to even try New Hampshire again. I just don't. It's only 4 electoral points. And to go all the way up north right there for a state you're likely going to lose, it just seems like a waste of resources and time. I think that's one of the reasons that they're surrendering Virginia, right? I think one of the reasons, I think they'll be surrendering Pennsylvania pretty soon. And they're going to start focusing on Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, solidify South Carolina. They're going to have to win Arizona, but they got to steal a state somewhere. And I don't see it. I don't see where Trump's going to do it. I don't see it. Like even like the way the map is right there, even if Trump won every remaining state, he still loses. He's got to keep what he's losing and win what's up for grabs. And I just don't see it. Why? Here's why. Okay. The last 2 weeks, starting tomorrow, Hillary and her surrogates are going to hit the campaign trail, and they're going to hit it hard. So what do I mean by that? So Hillary's going to be in the campaign trail. Barack Obama is going to hit the campaign trail. Obama's going to hit the campaign trail. Al Gore is going to be down there in Florida. Bernie Sanders is going to be in the campaign trail with her. Elizabeth Warren is going to be in the campaign trail with her. Joe Biden is going to be in the campaign trail with her. Her VP, right? Her VP, former governor of Virginia. I think that's why they got him, to solidify Virginia. If you look at the way the map is right there, you see why they picked, Kane. I mean, of course, he's boring. Nobody likes him, but it was a strategic move, right, to put themselves in the position they're in now, right? Tim Kaine, they're probably going to keep him like in Virginia, and they might have him go to like North Carolina, Ohio, maybe New Hampshire. Biden heavily up there in the north, like in New Hampshire, especially to just kind of solidify that. Obama, I see them, putting them in Florida a lot, just because they really want to win Florida. You could just tell. Georgia, well, within the next week, another poll comes out, and all of a sudden it's no longer a toss-up state, right? But if it's still a toss-up state in the last week, make no mistake about it, Obama and Hillary will be in Georgia, right? There's just no doubt in my mind. Texas. If Texas is still a toss-up close enough in the last week, since they have to go to Arizona anyway, right? They might make a stop or two in Colorado. I don't see them putting much effort there still, but since they might hit up Arizona, Nevada, they might make a pit stop in Texas too. See that without a doubt, right? Could you imagine Barbara Bush campaigning with Hillary? That would be like an odd sight, but they might pull it off, right? It might be a mistake. I don't know. I don't see how Trump wins. When you look at the map, I don't see how he wins. He's running out of money, right? Donors have decreased dramatically, right, ever since that videotape come out. And not only that, rumors of another tape coming out, which is not going to be very helpful to his cause, right? It's not. This is looking like a landslide victory for Hillary Clinton when you look at it, right? I mean, 2 weeks before the election, when you looked at Romney, Obama, Romney had, Georgia there was no talks about Georgia. Okay, Utah wasn't in talks. Arizona wasn't in talks. Texas wasn't in talks. Those states were locked in already, right? It came down to like 3-4 states deciding our fucking election. Even in the McCain race, right? Although McCain lost North Carolina, right? And Virginia at the time, which was kind of shocking. But way too many must wins for Trump, like way too many of them, where he's behind in polling. And then it's one of those things, right? Like, let's say, like, how much time is he going to spend in Florida? Because he needs to win it. Who does Trump have? He has Pence, himself, of the Republican Party. So Trump is literally going like to 3-4 events in one day. I mean, fatigue's going to kick in. He's going to say some crazy shit in the trail. They're going to put in the news cycle. This is not looking good. So I'm breaking this down in the sense of the strategy that, I mean, look at how many toss-up states. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. All right. 9, not 9, right? Toss-up states according to this map. So you got Hillary, her VP, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Michelle Obama. They could be in 5 places, Elizabeth Warren, 8. They could be in 8 places at once. 8 places at once. And that picks that actually, these rallies, it kind of base, and the whole point of these rallies is to pump people up, and not only get them out to vote, but get others out to vote. Get them excited and get them out to vote and stuff like that. Hillary has a lot of money here. I already know some people that have already had doors knocked and people offering, hey, so election day, we have a bus where we could take it to the polls so you can vote, right? So and they already have the get out to vote ready. They have that shit ready. They're really going to be pushing that early voting. So how is it looking right now? Last week I said, right, this is what I said last week. I said, it's like they've gone 7 rounds and Trump got knocked down 3 times in the 7th. But he's still up and he's still in it. Now, I mean, Trump's just taking a beating at this point. Like I'm ready for the refs to just wave it off. That's really what it is right now. Now, the question is, even if Trump loses in the Electoral College, can he win the popular vote? According to most polls, I mean, he's down in double digits in some of them. If you average it out, it's an average of 6, 7 points, which is big. That's huge. I don't think a lot of people understand how big that is. So there's one off chance that I've heard some people argue. Yes, this is the off chance, right? In any normal election, most people would have already said, yeah, okay, this is over. This is a foregone conclusion. But there's one reason some, whether they like Trump or they don't, irrelevant, right? But one reason they're holding back and saying, I don't know, I'm not going to call it till I see it. And I think one of the reasons is there's a theory some people have. And that theory is people than we think to admit supporting Donald Trump, even to the point of pollsters and saying they're undecided or voting for Hillary, right? So do I believe a certain percentage of those people exist? Yes. Do I think it's like a 10% of the population? No. Right? So the way I see it is this. I think that can be offset by the fact that I honestly believe this. Many out there that are too embarrassed to admit that they're going to vote for Hillary. Right? And the reason for that is because a vote for Hillary is to vote for the establishment. It comes with baggage. All right? She's almost as unliked as Donald Trump is. Right? You tell people I'm voting for Hillary, you know what you're going to get. You know what comes with that. Oh, okay, yeah, you want more of the same. Oh, you're just part of the system. And there's baggage with voting for Hillary as well. So that's why I personally believe the polls. And keep in mind, there's a margin of error in the polls, and the pollsters know that they're keeping in mind that they may be getting lied to. And that it's not, they're professionals at this. They have a series of questions that they ask, right? So they can kind of gauge, who this person voted for before, how they traditionally vote, how they feel about the system right now. They'll ask them questions like how do you think, what's the direction of the country going? So there's a methodology to it that you got to keep in mind here. Polls aren't perfect, but even if you look at the primaries, right? We're way off. The polls was when they had Trump ahead, right? They had Trump ahead in Iowa, and he got his ass handed to him by Cruz. Now, some say that had more to do with the fact that Trump didn't know what a ground game was, right? He didn't understand what the get out to vote ground game was, and then later he kind of caught up to that, and he made up for it, right? So there's some truth to that, but he now knows what that is. And he's hired people that know what that is. But now here at the national level, he can't fuck with Hillary's money. Like Hillary's get out to votes and be way bigger than his. Like way bigger. And they're gonna have rallies now. They're just see it in the next 2 weeks. Right? Right now, you got Trump now he's trying to stick to the issues, but he can't help himself. It's only a matter of time before he says something controversial that pisses people off. And a lot of his supporters like the controversial stuff he does. But the thing is, man, he's already got those supporters. Like that's not going to do anything for him. I mean, he's not gaining on the demographics that he needs. These are the demographics Trump needs to win. He needs Hispanics, he needs blacks, and he needs women, and white educated voters. That's what he needs. In fact, he's not like every time Trump does something extremely stupid or says something stupid, the only demographic that he makes more strong are people that are already voting for him. And that's usually uneducated white voters, okay, or non-college educated white voters. Those are the voters that are strongly behind Trump, right? When you look at even white males that are educated, it's pretty even. It's like 50-50. With non-educated white women, Trump is barely winning, barely beating Hillary. With white educated white women, right? With educated white women, he's getting destroyed. Like it's not even close. So every time Trump does something that his supporters think he should do, and yeah, he's telling like it is, and he's a straight shooter. Say pussy, say grab the pussy, yeah, the non-educated white voters support him even more. But guess what? Guess what happens with the women? He goes down, right? What happens every time he says something stupid about minorities? What happens? Support from them goes down, right? Not good. Like this is he knows he's going to lose. Like Trump knows it too. Why do you think he's saying it's rigged? You notice how nothing was rigged when he was winning? He couldn't stop talking about the polls, right? Oh, the polls this, the polls had me here, and the polls that, and he couldn't stop talking about the polls. Once those same polls had him losing, right? All of a sudden, the polls are rigged. The system is rigged against me. Okay, no, the system is not rigged against a Republican. The system is rigged against anybody. It's against Jill Stein and Gary Johnson. They don't even let them on the fucking podium to debate. That's who the system is rigged against. It's not rigged against Democrats or Republicans. Get the fuck out of here. That's stupid. Of all those states you're looking at there, 32 of them are run by Republicans. The state runs the elections. For those that don't know. So Obama can't, how is he going to rig the election? He can't do that. It's impossible, right? What's he going to do? He's going to call a Republican governor and say, hey, let's rig the election. Well, they'll put that shit out there immediately. Look at the call Obama gave me. That's dumb. So Trump is losing, and he sees it coming about the election being rigged. He sees it coming, right? I think his supporters know it too. I look, if it was up to me, none of these two candidates would be in the ballot. We would have better options out of 300 million people to be president of the United States. I am not a Hillary supporter. But when I look at this map, when I look at the polling, when I look at the early voting so far, the trending, okay, when I look at just all these things combined, when I look at each demographic, the way each demographic is polling, when I look at the different questions they ask, when I look at everything, evidence shows me that Trump is going to get destroyed. Destroyed. Right? Like it's I don't even think it's going to be close. In fact, for the first time in I don't know how long, I think the election for a Democrat before they even announced California for them. Because I think Hillary's going to win Florida. I think there's a good chance she wins North Carolina. I think she's going to win Wisconsin. Right? So by the time we get to the the West Coast, I think it's going to be over. I really do. Right? I think they're going to project Hillary, the new president of the United States, without her even needing California. That's my take. I think she's going to win Arizona. I'm just saying. But with that said, those are my thoughts. Peace out.